All right, so now we're going to go ahead and model a chassis. So I'm going to click Create once I log into OnShape and select Document. I'm going to create a document. Let's call this one Chassis. We'll open up a new workspace. The first thing I'm going to do is create a sketch. I'm going to click Sketch, and I'm going to select a sketch plane. I'll use the top plane because I want this chassis to be flat. I'll select the top of my view cube so I can view this looking straight down. Alright. Now, the nice thing about our chassis is it is going to be symmetrical. It's going to look the same in the left and the right. So I'm going to start off by doing a little trick by drawing a line. But I'm going to select this construction option, which will make it a dashed line. I'm going to start right at the middle of my origin and go straight up. Just like that right there. So this is going to be my line of symmetry. I'm going to select my line tool again. This time I'm going to unselect my construction line. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start creating what my chassis will look like. Now your plan might be different from everyone else's. Okay, so this is kind of up to you. In my plan I've designed these little wheel wells where my wheels are going to sit in. And so I'm going to kind of make this shape here. Now you notice I do a little bit of tricks here. So for example, this second wheel well, I want it to be just as deep as the first one. So I can hover over this bottom one. I'm not clicking, and I'm just going to go straight up. You can see that little yellow dashed line, and then eventually it snaps into place there. I know it's going to be perfectly lined up. I'll do the same thing over here because I want it to be even with the edge. Just like that. Up and right here. There you go. So I've kind of made half of my chassis. Some other tools here. There's the vertical tool if I want to make sure a line's vertical. I think all mine are vertical, but if any of them don't look vertical, you can click them. Or same with horizontal. I can make sure certain lines are horizontal. So that's good. If I want two openings to be equal, I could use my equal command. So I could say that this wheel well, this line right here, should be equal to this one right here. You can see they resized there. Alright, so I can add a lot of little kind of constraints. I'm going to now add my mirror constraint. I'm going to click Mirror. It says Select a Mirror Line. I'm going to select this middle line here. Now it says Select Entities to be Mirrored. I'm going to highlight this whole left side, and it will mirror that across the line. Alright, so that's looking good. It's looking like my chassis wants to look. But I do need to make sure I make this the correct dimensions. I'm going to go into my dimensions. And let's say I want this whole thing to be 7 inches tall. So I'm going to click the top edge there, and then I'm going to click the bottom edge, and you'll see I can now set this dimension down here, which I can type in 7 to be 7 inches. Check your concept sketch. I'm just using 7 because that's a number I've decided might be good. Your design should have the appropriate dimensions on it. I can do the same thing with this one here. Let's say I want that to be, let's say, 1/2 inch. Let's say I want the depth, let's say my wheels, maybe they're 1/4 inch wheels, so I want to give them a little bit of space, maybe 1/2 inch of space there. Okay. I can keep adding dimensions in here as I see fit. 1.5 inches there. Let's say that this one is 1 inch there. Okay. Now I need to determine how wide this is going to be. So from the left side to the right side, I think the limit was 5.5 inches. I'll make it 5. Okay. Now what you will notice is as I start adding dimensions, some things turn black. They start off blue. Black means something is fully constrained. It means that you've added enough dimensions there where it knows exactly how you want it to look. And that's a good goal. You don't want to add too many dimensions, otherwise some weird things can happen. So for instance, right now, I haven't dimensioned how long this wheel well is going to be, because I said the total 7, and I gave all these other dimensions. So if I add a dimension here, it'll be too much information. Right now it's labeled at 2 inches. Let's say I wanted it to be 1.75. It doesn't like that, because it's got too many rules, and they're arguing with each other. If I really want that to be 1.75, I might need to get rid of another dimension. So for instance, maybe this 1.5. I'm going to click that and press delete. Now it's kind of in place. So black means that something's fully constrained. Red means it's over constrained. And blue means that there's still a little bit of wiggle room in it. But that's about what I think this chassis might look like. I'm going to click the green check mark to be done with the sketch. I'm going to click the corner of my view cube to view this from an angle. And the very last thing I have to do is I have to select this area, go up to the extrude tool, and for the depth it's going to be 1/8 of an inch, 1 divided by 8. That's how thick our cardboard and plywood is that we use in the laser cutter. And there it is. It's a nice chassis right there. Now the one thing we didn't include here is a space for your gearbox and gears to fit in. So if I forgot that, I want to go back and add it, I can go back into Sketch 1 and reopen it. And then maybe I'll go ahead and add that little slot. It's going to be this corner rectangle here. Now, where you put this is up to you. Some people will have this centered, some might have it off-center, but I do need to decide what dimensions it's going to have. Our gears are 1/8 of an inch wide, so they probably need to be at least 1/8 of an inch. Let's try 1/4 of an inch. And depending what size gears you might use, who knows what size it's going to be. It's up to you and your sketch to figure that out. Okay? Now I do need to decide where this is going to go. It can't just be hovering out here in space. So I might say, you know what, the dimensions, it needs to be 1/2 inch from the bottom. And maybe I think it needs to be 1/2 inch to the left. Once again, I'm making this up. It would be up to you to determine that. So I'm going to create this sort of box here. And what you'll see is that now it puts a little slot in there where those gears and gearbox can fit. Alright, if you decide that it needs to be moved around, you go back into Sketch 1, and you can change these dimensions any way you see fit. Alright, so that's sort of a basic chassis, somewhere to get started. Good luck, play around with it, make some mistakes, ask for help, start over, iterate, try things. Okay, don't be afraid. I'll be back to help you, or you can reference this video over and over.